Recently, we've seen many videos on YouTube about how expensive it has gotten to live in Canada, and even how many immigrants are now apparently leaving Canada because it's just not livable and affordable anymore in Canada.
So in this video, we're going to make a reaction video on one of the YouTube videos that we saw online, and is actually making a decent amount of money here in Canada. So let's compare our experience and what we have researched so far. Hi, this is Esley Planner, and we make videos for aspiring international students here in Canada. If you're new to our channel, make sure that you are subscribed, and also if you want to see more videos like this, make sure that you like this video. It's our first time to make this, so I'm scared.
Okay.
In this video, I will summarize what I've discovered about salaries in Canada while working for 3 different companies, as well as the cost of life with detailed monthly expenses, and also my thoughts on the balance between those two things. First, salaries. In Canada, junior software engineers with 0 to 3 years of experience earn from 45 to 60K. Intermediate engineers with 1 to 8 years from 60 to 120K. And senior engineers with 3+ years from 90 to 150K.
You mean
This salary, it's above average. I mean,
yeah, what's the average Canadian salary? I think it's like 70,000.
yeah, 70,000 Canadian dollars per year. So
But 45 for a software engineer, isn't that low?
yeah, I mean, the starting salary is
I
pretty
made
decent.
more like cleaning ambulances. I did.
I mean, when we started here in Canada, in our first year, we made around 50, right? 50, 60,000 Canadian dollars each
Yeah.
per year.
110K for a software engineer in Vancouver are not very high. Invitations replied.
Okay,
It's not,
not very high.
It's not very high.
It's actually, for me, when I was making 50,000 a year, that's actually, I was so happy when I got that job offer.
But to me, that's a big salary. I mean,
True.
it depends on the profession. Software engineer should make a little more money.
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
But in general, 120 or 100,000 a year, that's above average.
Oh yeah.
Canada brings an excessive number of overqualified immigrants, so that the companies do not really need to raise salaries. They always can hire new, well-qualified immigrants instead, who are ready to be paid less because they just arrived. They don't understand the true cost of life in Canada yet. They have no choice. They think it's temporary. They think they will earn more in the future.
Yeah, and the newly hired people that come into the country, they have to prove themselves first. So of course you should have a higher salary and more leverage if you have been a software engineer in Canada for 3 or 5 years, rather than someone that just came over. And I don't think the company will just replace you with that person if they're not at least as good as you are.
Or probably have Canadian experience.
Yeah.
But now when we have the earnings, let's look at what this money can buy. I will be calculating the expenses for someone like me, a family of 2 adults, 2 kids and a dog in Vancouver, but I will also touch the debate about how the cost of life varies for different cities. Let's consider a 100K salary. That's 8,300 per month.
8,300 per month. That's for me, it's a lot.
That's gross, but still.
Yeah.
2,500 goes to taxes. The biggest expense is housing. In 2023, I would budget about $3,000 per month for a family for housing in Vancouver greater area.
So that's important information here. He's living in Vancouver and he is paying 3,000 Canadian dollars per month. And their family of 4, correct?
Yeah. So that's actually, right now, unfortunately, normal in Vancouver. In Vancouver. Not in Canada.
Because Vancouver is not Canada. Do you want to compare now?
Yeah, so we've compared 4 different cities, and starting in Halifax, you can get a 1-bedroom apartment for around $550 right now, and sorry, you can get a room for $550 and in a 1-bedroom apartment for about $1,200 a month. And Calgary, it's about $700 for a room and $1,400 for a 1-bedroom apartment. In Toronto, $900 for a room, 2,100 for a one-bedroom apartment, so that gets expensive. And then Vancouver, 1,000 for a room and 2,200 for a
For-
one-bedroom.
yeah.
So yes,
And-
Toronto and Vancouver are very expensive.
They're expensive, true.
Next expense is utilities. Roughly $100 for heating, 100 for home internet, 150 for 2 mobile phones, 50 for electricity, and maybe 100 more for subscriptions like Amazon Prime, iCloud, Netflix. 500 for everything in this category.
So we have to react to that because 500 for utilities, like
Yeah, and,
That's
and
a
first of all,
lot.
subscriptions are not utilities.
that's luxury for
Yeah,
me.
so it's not heat or electricity. But I think $100 for subscriptions, maybe some people can afford that. I would never do that. Like
Yeah,
the max would
true.
be for me $20 a month.
And cell phone, I was only paying for about $35 like per month.
Yeah, you can get a cell phone plan for $40 a month. Yes,
Yeah.
it's not the biggest. It doesn't have so much data, but it's all you need and it works.
Yeah, so you can wiggle your $500 there.
Same with internet. He says he's paying $100 for internet.
Wow.
If you want the fastest one, then yes, you'll pay even over $100. But there is internet for. We had it with Costco. We paid $40 a month.
We spend about $350 per week on food, mostly in Costco. That's $1,400 per month. Just the usual basket of vegetables, chicken, eggs, milk, bread, nothing extraordinary.
Okay, so 1,400 for food for family of 4. I think that's reasonable.
It can be, yeah. You can definitely go cheaper if you just shop at Walmart, but then Costco does have better quality food, and you can save money in Costco if you do budget right and you cook your meals. If you just buy at Costco and act like you bought it at a normal grocery store, because everything is in huge portions at Costco. And groceries are more or less the same price in most of Canada. It says you spend around $500 a month for one person. If you're more people, then it should be cheaper per person.
For a 5-year-old financed car, a monthly payment can be $330, insurance $150. One full tank of gas costs about...
Why do you have a car loan? He is complaining that he is actually homeless in Canada, but you got $330 for your car loan.
Yeah, and car insurance, it really depends. Yes, again, Vancouver is expensive because it's a big city and there's a lot of crazy drivers. But out here, you're paying $80 for your insurance.
Yeah, we're paying $70 per month.
And it would be cheaper if you pay it for the whole year, by the way.
But I do not recommend you guys don't get a car
Never
loan.
get a car loan. If you can't pay the car outright, then you can't afford it yet.
But the argument there is that some people, they bought like a new car because they said they need it because of the harsh winter in Canada and they need a reliable car. What do you
and
think?
it's safer because they have children. They need a new car, so it's safe. I've just watched a clip on the Ramsey show today about that. Check out Dave Ramsey, and it's all these reasons that people just make up to justify that they need to buy this car, and in the end, a car is just mostly a status symbol. And they also made the example that a car is a depreciating asset, and if you're paying interest on a depreciating asset, that's just stupid, right? You're paying an interest for 5-10 years to pay off this car. By the time that car is paid off, it's worthless. Unlike if you buy a house, at least that goes up in value when you have an interest on it. So yeah, I just don't understand how people can finance a car. So just for gas, it varies a lot across the whole country. So in Halifax, it's about $1.55 a liter. And Calgary is usually the cheapest because
Yes.
Alberta is the oil province in Canada, so it's like $1.40 right now. Toronto is also just around $1.55, but Vancouver, the west coast, and then if you go on the island, it's very expensive. So right now it's over $2 for a liter of gas.
Haven't yet calculated any purchases like clothes, furniture, electronics, books, eating out, gifts, travel, education, entertainment, saving, investing, We cannot afford any of that on a six-figure salary in Vancouver. A very tight budget.
Okay, so this guy makes $8,300 a month. Okay, and he says he has $400 left at the end of the
But
month.
the problem here is that they're dual income. Like, he has a wife who's also
Yeah, he's gonna
working.
mention that in a second.
Yeah, but 400. Okay.
I mean, even in Vancouver, I think I could have at least $1,000 left
$1,000
in his
bucks.
case. I think
Yeah.
I think I could do that.
True.
My only problem is that I am in a wrong city and it is very different in other parts of the country. And one of the most popular comments was a suggestion for me to move to Calgary.
I think at least in his position, if you're a software engineer or developer, can you not work from home? I mean, maybe not for every company, but for some.
Okay, but we can buy a townhouse in Calgary or Edmonton. It would cost around $380K, $2,300 per month mortgage, and also $400 strata fee, $2,000 property tax per year, and again, not less than 50% of a six-figure salary. So, a software engineer working remotely for a shiny Vancouver-based tech company has to pay 50% of the income for a modest townhouse in affordable Calgary. However you turn it, if you make it right, all income would go to taxes, housing, and food at best.
It's just so negative. Like, any solution is just, that's also bad.
So the only option to make the ends meet is probably to work remotely for a tech company from a large expensive city while living in a really small, least developed, almost a village.
A village?
So Calgary is a village.
Because potential immigrants are being showed a dream of a prosperous country that best of the best can join, work hard, and build their Canadian dream.
Of course, it's still the same as everywhere. You have to work hard, you have to save. You don't just get a great job thrown at you and you can spend as much as you want and chill all day and you'll be a millionaire. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Life is not easy.
And we always tell people, don't move to Vancouver, don't move to Toronto. It's crazy busy, it's crazy expensive. And you can see that Canada is trying, the immigration programs are trying to get immigrants not into Vancouver, not into Toronto, but they have things like the rural pilot immigration program. They want to populate areas that are little, not remote, but not big cities.
The opportunities that existed here 20 and even 10 years ago do not exist now. They don't exist even for doctors and engineers. I honestly don't understand how the hell do people survive here while having...
He has a household they have a household income of $150,000.
And you can't survive. Like I do know someone.
They are surviving. He's just complaining that he can't buy a house and that he doesn't have any left over to save money, which is also ridiculous.
Yeah, like how about those people just making 50,000?
Yeah.
We were that.
Yeah.
We're only making 50,000 each.
Standards of life for new immigrants in Canada are falling off a cliff. There is no housing, no health care for...
I do agree on him when it comes to healthcare.
There is healthcare, it's just very overflown, and Canada still has a high demand for nurses and doctors.
You can still like get treated if something happened to you. Yes, there's a long queue, but go to the Philippines and you'll see what I'm saying. I mean, Canada is not perfect, but way ahead than my country in the Philippines.
If you can't live off $100,000, then you're doing something wrong, because there's people living on half of that money.
True.
You know.
And I'm not invalidating his complaints, but
No, he has a lot of good points, and it is expensive, especially housing, and it has gotten a lot more expensive in the last 2 years or so. Inflation, which, if you look up the inflation of other countries around the world, many had worse inflation than Canada.
And for me, coming from the Philippines, and we didn't have the best life in the Philippines. When I came here, even though I just got 50,000 Canadian dollars per year, I feel so blessed and grateful for that.
Yeah, I chose to move here. I did not have to move here because the life in Germany was so terrible. I just like Canada, and that's why I moved here. But looking back now, I still don't want to go back to Germany now because things have changed in Germany that I don't like them anymore there. I still prefer here, especially cost of living have gone up a lot in Germany too in the last 2 years.
And also, it's not just about money. Why you chose to move to Canada. For me, it's more like if you have kids, back home you have to pay for education, but here you don't have to pay for that.
Do not wait for politicians or the government to change your life or make it better. It will never happen. It's you. You have to do something. You have to change. You have to work hard. The entrepreneurs and business owners and the employees, those are the ones that run the country and make it a good place. The politicians, they can just make rules and laws, but they don't do any actual productive work that makes the country better. So don't wait for them. Don't wait for someone else to improve your life.
So hope you guys like this video. Comment below what you think about this video, and do you agree or disagree about the cost of living, or are you thinking to move to another country?
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!